Before the world can give you $1,000,000, you must become it. The outside world reflects the inner. Nothing comes before the consciousness of wealth. You are not waiting for money. Money is waiting for you to wake up to the truth of who you already are. The million is not out there. It is within you, in your invisible supply. And as soon as you know this, it must come. It cannot be kept away, for no gate can close upon the one who walks in divine certainty. The game of life is not one of chance. It is a game of thought, of word, of spiritual alignment. When you walk in the knowing that you are already the million, every step becomes gold beneath your feet. The ones who chase it miss it, but the one who becomes it effortlessly attracts it. For every vibration must attract its like, and when you vibrate as prosperity, prosperity must find you. It has no choice. There is no power in the amount. There is only power in your belief. $1,000,000 is just a form, a symbol of substance. The real wealth is the consciousness behind it. And once you carry the consciousness, the form follows like a shadow. You are not trying to get the money. You are remembering that you are the substance from which money flows. You are the source, the divine channel, the magnet. Speak it. I am the first $1, 0, 0, 0, 0. Feel it in your bones. Walk with it in your step. Let your imagination be flooded with this truth until it soaks into your subconscious like perfume in silk. The law does not delay. It only waits for your full alignment. The moment you stop wishing and begin knowing, the flow begins. The moment you stop begging and begin claiming, the doors swing open. You are not a beggar before life's banquet. You are the honored guest. The table was set long before you arrived. Your name is written on every note, every check, every door marked with opportunity. But your name only shines when you accept it, when you stop apologizing for your abundance and step into your divine identity. You were never meant to scrape for coins. You were created to command them. The first million is not about numbers. It is a message from the universe saying, I trust you. The million is a mirror. It shows you what you think of yourself. Do you feel unworthy? It reflects delay. Do you feel anxious? It reflects disorder. But do you feel certain? Then it reflects power. Divine substance is everywhere, and it takes the shape of your most consistent thought. What you expect becomes what you receive. Let no one shake your knowing. Others may doubt, but your word shall not return void. The world may laugh, but your faith writes the final line. Let them say, who does she think she is? For you know exactly who you are, the child of an infinite source, and the first million lives in your very breath. You don't become rich by hoping. You become rich by claiming, declaring, and refusing to move until the mountain moves. Hold your million in the secret place of the Most High. Picture it, taste it, hear the sound of it arriving in divine order, not 1 cent early, not 1 cent late. Release all fear, for fear is a sign you believe in lack more than law. Release all doubt, for doubt is a prayer to what you do not want. And release comparison, for no one else walks your path or holds your power. You are the original mold of your miracle. You are the first $1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Say it until your cells believe it. Say it until your feet walk differently. Say it until you no longer need proof, because the proof is already within. Do not ask how. That is not your concern. The universe handles the how. Your job is to hold the vibration, to be the frequency, to walk as if the bank already called with the good news. When you shift, the world must follow. When you align, supply must come. When you speak, mountains move. When you believe, doors fly open. Be not fooled by delay. It is not denial. It is simply time catching up to the new you. Your million has already been spoken for. And when the time is right, you will watch it manifest as surely as the sun rises. This is not arrogance. This is spiritual law. Arrogance demands without belief. Faith receives without resistance. Your only job is to believe until belief becomes knowing. And when you know, you do not chase, you attract. When you know, you do not strive, you flow. When you know, you do not fear, you rest. Wealth begins as identity, not income. The great secret of divine supply is that it flows not to the one who works the hardest, but to the one who knows who they are. A person may labor day and night and still never see abundance, while another may seem to live effortlessly, and all things are added unto them. Why? Because the latter lives from a place of knowing. They are not chasing money, they are expressing it. They are the tree, and money is merely the fruit. You do not get rich by trying to earn more, you get rich by becoming more. When your inner belief about yourself shifts, your outer world must obey. The law is that all things begin in consciousness. The one who sees themselves as poor, even with a full bank account, will soon manifest lack. The one who sees themselves as rich, even while surrounded by evidence of limitation, will soon draw supply from unseen sources. Wealth is not something you get. It is something you remember you already are. Many are hypnotized by the visible world. They see their current income, their job title, their bills, their account balance, and they say, "This is who I am," but that is a lie. Those are simply reflections of an old vibration. They are echoes of what was, not prophecies of what is to come. The truth of your being lies deeper, beyond appearances. You are not your circumstances. You are not your past. You are not your paycheck. You are a divine being with the power to command substance, and that power activates the moment you begin to see yourself rightly. Identity is the root, and all else is fruit. Your money, your opportunities, your relationships, they all bend to the shape of your self-image. If you see yourself as someone who tries to get ahead, the universe must continue to give you situations to try. If you see yourself as someone who struggles to make ends meet, life must echo that belief. But if you see yourself as the embodiment of abundance, the flow begins. The law of supply is activated by recognition. The moment you declare, "I am wealthy," with spiritual certainty, not as a wish but as a truth, the wheels begin to turn. People often ask, "What do I need to do to become rich?" But the real question is, who do I need to be? Actions are important, yes, but they are only powerful when they arise from the right identity. You can take 100 steps in fear and get nowhere, or you can take one step in knowing and the path unfolds before you. The one who sees themselves as wealth does not hustle and panic. They walk in peace, and everything they need is drawn to them. You do not become rich by learning more strategies. You become rich by unlearning the lies of lack. Every limitation was taught to you by someone who forgot their divinity. Every ceiling was placed there by belief, and if a belief created it, a belief can remove it. You must begin to see yourself as one who is not reaching for wealth, but radiating it. It is not something external you bring in. It is something internal you let out. The millionaire identity is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is not ego. It is spiritual clarity. When you say, "I am the first \$1 0 0 0 0 0 0," you are not claiming to be better than others. You are claiming your birthright. You are stepping out of the illusion of poverty and into the truth of divine inheritance. And as you accept this truth, the world must bend to it. Clients appear, ideas drop into your mind, opportunities knock. Why? Because you became the doorway. All the techniques, affirmations, and prayers in the world mean nothing if they do not shift your self-concept. You cannot affirm wealth while secretly believing you are unworthy of it. You cannot expect overflow while silently seeing yourself as someone who always just gets by. The law does not respond to words alone. It responds to vibration. And your vibration is the music of your inner identity. If it plays the tune of wealth, then wealth must dance to it. To shift your identity, begin by observing your self-talk. What do you say to yourself when no one is listening? Do you speak as a millionaire or a martyr? Do you affirm divine supply or rehearse lack? Do you walk with the posture of someone favored by life, or do you shrink in fear of rejection? Every thought is a seed, and every seed grows. What are you growing in the garden of your mind? Is it abundance or anxiety? Begin to saturate your inner world with wealth. Close your eyes and see yourself as already having the $1,000,000,000,000. What do you look like? How do you speak? How do you move? Where do you live? What choices do you make? Live from that vision now, not someday, but this moment. The subconscious does not know the difference between a memory, an imagination, or a present event. It only knows what is repeated. So repeat wealth until it becomes your default setting when doubts arise, and they will do not fight them, simply override them. Speak your truth louder than your fear. When lack shows up in your outer world, do not flinch. Say to yourself, this is the old version playing out. I no longer live there. And return to your identity. Declare it again. Feel it again. Be it again. Because the law must obey the one who knows who they are. It does not obey the loudest. It obeys the clearest. You are not asking for permission to prosper. You are not hoping the world will one day allow you to be rich. You are establishing a new identity, and everything else must conform to it. As within, so without. If you build the millionaire within, you cannot help but receive the evidence without. But it must begin with identity. You are not pretending to be wealthy. You are waking up to it. You are not acting as if it is already done, and your only task is to remember. Others may question you. They may mock you. They may remind you of your past. But your past has no authority in the presence of spiritual identity. Do not explain. Do not defend. Simply be the wealth, be the power, be the knowing, and the world will come around. The outer always bows to the inner. Life does not resist clarity. It accelerates it. You are the cause and money is the effect. You are the tree and wealth is the fruit. If you tend to the roots, your belief, your knowing, your vibration, the fruit must come. It cannot be otherwise. No storm can stop a tree whose roots are deep in truth. And no recession, no delay, no opposition can stop the one whose identity is set in spiritual wealth. You must say, with unwavering faith, I am the wealth. I am the channel. I am the first $1,000,000,000,000. Not in arrogance, not in wishful thinking, but in divine remembrance. You came into this world stamped with value. Your worth was never in question, only your awareness of it, and now you remember, now you rise. Now you walk not as one who seeks, but one who knows, for you are not becoming rich, you are revealing that you already are. You are not chasing the million. You are awakening the millionaire within. You must embody the vibration of a millionaire before the money appears. This is a law not of man but of spirit. Everything that shows up in your outer life first existed in your inner world. The vibrations you hold, the feelings you cultivate, and the thoughts you dwell upon are the blueprints of your reality. You cannot draw in something to which you are not a vibrational match. The universe will never contradict your frequency. It is not a matter of hoping or striving or wishing. It is a matter of being. You must first become the wealth, the abundance, the millionaire in consciousness, in emotion, in vibration. Long before the physical evidence arrives, the vibration of a millionaire is not simply about desiring a certain figure in the bank. It is about the deep, consistent, unwavering feeling of already having it. That feeling, that inner state, becomes the magnet. The body cannot lie. It reflects your dominant vibration at all times. When you move with the feeling of already possessing the wealth, you tune yourself to receive it. That which you consistently feel becomes your world. The invisible vibration you carry is the language the universe listens to. Too often people focus on the outer steps, the job, the business, the opportunity, the strategy. But these are only surface ripples compared to the deep river of vibration underneath. The one who is successful in all they do has not just mastered actions, they have mastered alignment. They carry the tone of abundance. You feel it when they enter a room. They radiate certainty, they move with intention, they speak with belief. That vibration calls to wealth, and wealth responds without resistance. No person can fake vibration. You may say all the right words, take all the right steps, and still block your good if the inner tone is one of fear, scarcity, or unworthiness. Vibration is not about convincing the world. It is about convincing your own soul. It is the quiet frequency you hold when no one is watching. It is your emotional home, your energetic default. To become the vibration of a millionaire means to dwell in the frequency of expansion, trust, ease, and certainty. You must ask yourself each day, what does the millionaire version of me feel like? What thoughts run through their mind? How do they respond to challenge? How do they view money, time, and opportunity? You must study this version of yourself, not as an ideal to become someday, but as a self you are stepping into now. Vibration is not created, it is chosen. It is not earned, it is accessed. You do not wait for money to feel rich. You feel rich and then money comes. This is the divine reversal that governs true prosperity. Every time you feel worry over bills, you reinforce the vibration of lack. Every time you fear not having enough, you signal the universe that you are not ready to receive. But when you replace those reactions with calm confidence, you shift timelines, you change your magnetic field, and soon the outer world bends to the new tone. This is not imagination, it is law. The invisible always births the visible, and vibration is the mother of manifestation. The feeling of already having is the secret key. Not someday, not one day. Now, you must walk through your life with the inner posture that says, it is done. Not as performance, but as embodiment. The vibration of the millionaire is not frantic or desperate. It is grounded, it is generous, it is joyful, it is receptive. It expects good. It trusts life. When you carry that energy, wealth is pulled to you as surely as iron to a magnet. This is why many people who suddenly receive money lose it just as quickly. Their vibration never changed. They attracted a sum, but not the consciousness to hold it. They remained at the frequency of lack, and the form dissolved because it was not supported. But the one who becomes the vibration of abundance will attract money, hold money, grow money, and multiply it, because the frequency is consistent. The vibration does not rely on conditions. It creates them. Vibration is felt through emotion. Emotion is energy in motion, and the strongest frequencies are those of love, gratitude, joy, peace, and certainty. These are millionaire states. The more time you spend in them, the more magnetic you become. You must begin to treat these emotions as wealth in themselves. Feel rich in love, feel rich in time, feel rich in gratitude, and soon your outer reality must reflect the inner richness. Every moment you dwell in the frequency of not enough, you tell the universe to keep it that way. But when you dwell in the frequency of already done, you align with infinite supply, and the shift can happen in an instant. You could walk out of fear and into faith today. You could release the vibration of struggle and step into ease. You do not need to wait for circumstances to improve. The vibration comes first. Everything else must follow. This is why visualization, affirmation, and meditation are powerful tools, not because they change the world, but because they change your vibration. And when your vibration changes, your world cannot stay the same. Every thought you think carries a tone. Every word you speak sends out a wave. Every emotion you nurture builds your field. Together, they create a frequency so specific, so precise, that life cannot help but mirror it back to you. You must live from the vibration of the end result. Do not ask, when will I become a millionaire? Ask, How can I live today as if I already am? This is not about spending recklessly or pretending in the outer. It is about cultivating the feeling in the inner. How does a millionaire greet the day? How do they treat themselves? How do they move through challenges? Let those answers shape your actions, not as performance, but as truth. When doubt whispers, do not argue, rise above it. When fear creeps in, do not fight, transcend it. Say to yourself, this feeling is not in harmony with who I truly am, and shift. The more you shift, the more you build a new energetic home. Soon, your vibration becomes so steady, so elevated, that wealth has no choice but to appear in your life. It arrives not as a surprise, but as a match the world will always try to reflect your old vibration back to you. But you are not required to accept it. You can hold the new tone even when the outer looks unchanged. That is true faith. That is the vibration of mastery. And that is where miracles are born. Be unshakable in your state. Carry your millionaire frequency through the mundane, the ordinary, the everyday. And the extraordinary will become your new normal. You are the frequency. You are the signal. You are the broadcast tower. What you tune into is what you draw in. So tune into wealth. Tune into ease. Tune into certainty. Tune into divine timing. And the station of life must respond. Do not wait to feel it. Feel it now. Do not wait for proof. Be the proof. Do not seek confirmation. Walk in the assurance that the unseen is more real than the seen, and that your vibration is the bridge between the two. You cannot fail when you embody the vibration of truth. You cannot lose what you have become, and when you become the millionaire in vibration, the form must appear, not by effort, not by force, but by alignment. Everything begins with vibration. Everything flows through frequency. Everything obeys the tone you carry. You must choose the vibration of the reality you desire and become it fully. Be the feeling, be the state. Be the wealth before it shows up, and soon you will walk into a world that looks just like the one you've been vibrating all along. Your word is your wand. Speak abundance into existence. Every word spoken sets a law in motion. Every phrase you utter, every declaration you make, every affirmation that passes your lips is like a seed cast into the invisible soil of divine substance. And that seed must bring forth after its kind. Words are not idle things. They are vibrational commands. They are spiritual instruments shaping the unseen into form. The tongue holds the power of life and death, and those who understand this do not speak lightly. They know that what they say today becomes the reality of tomorrow. The universe does not respond to your wishes. It responds to your word. Not merely the words you speak aloud, but the ones you speak inwardly all day long. That inner dialogue becomes your outer world. When you say, I can't afford this, you issue a command. When you say, money never stays with me, you seal your own pockets. But when you say, I always prosper, the law begins to arrange itself to prove you right. What you say about your life is what you receive. The word is the mold, and substance must fill it. People often speak carelessly, and then wonder why their lives look like a battlefield. They speak poverty and attract it. They joke about debt and invite more of it. They curse their own path with words like never, can't, struggle, and hard, unaware that these are not just expressions, they are spiritual contracts. The subconscious mind records everything without humor, without skepticism, without editing. It believes what it hears over and over again. And as it believes, so it creates to shift your life. You must shift your language. Speak only what you desire to see. Speak what aligns with your vision, not your current condition. The millionaire does not speak of lack. They speak of flow. They do not say, I hope things work out. They say, everything works in my favor. Their word is law because they have trained their mouth to match their vision, and the universe, being impartial, obeys the loudest vibration. Your words become flesh. They take on form. They become the money in your hand, the people you meet, the doors that open or close. There is no such thing as a neutral word. Every syllable carries vibration. You are either blessing your life or binding it with every sentence you speak. If you say, I am always supported, you create the current of support. If you say, things always go wrong, you create a path for disruption. The universe does not question your words. It simply fulfills them. This is why you must become intentional with your speech. Begin each day with declarations of abundance. Speak to your bank account and call it full. Speak to your business and call it prosperous. Speak to your path and call it straight. Speak to your life and call it divine. Your word sets the direction. It draws the blueprint, and whatever you decree consistently, especially with emotion, must come into form. The spoken word is the first movement of manifestation. Words backed by feeling are 10 times more powerful. To say, I am wealthy, without belief is only noise, but to say it with faith, with certainty, with deep emotional conviction is to summon the power that moves mountains. Your word must not be weak. It must be soaked in the vibration of knowing. It must carry the tone of, it is already done. When spoken this way, a single phrase can change your entire life. A single statement can alter your destiny. Many people think they need to change their entire environment to become successful. But true transformation begins with changing your vocabulary. Your language is the soil from which your future grows. Begin to notice every word. Are you planting weeds or roses? Are you speaking from fear or from faith? Are you rehearsing the past or declaring the future? Your tongue holds the brush that paints your reality. Use it wisely, use it boldly, use it as the sacred tool that it is. Declare what you want as if it already exists. Do not say, I will be rich someday. Say, I am rich now. Do not say, I hope to succeed. Say, success flows to me easily and continually. Do not say, I'm always struggling. Say, I move through life with grace and ease. Your word does not describe reality, it creates it. You are not narrating what is, you are authoring what shall be. You are not reacting. You are commanding. Silence is better than negative speech. If you cannot speak faith, speak nothing until you can. Each complaint delays your harvest. Each sarcastic remark adds fog to your path. The power of creation lies on your tongue, and to misuse it is to cut your own blessings short. Speak life, speak vision, speak prosperity, speak healing, speak overflow, speak truth. Your word is the key that unlocks every door, and no power can keep a door closed against one who has spoken it open with faith. There is a reason why sacred texts declare, let the weak say I am strong. They do not say wait to feel strong. Speak it first. The word goes before you and prepares the way. The word draws strength to you. The same law applies to wealth. Let the broke say, I am rich. Let the confused say, I am guided. Let the barren say, I am fruitful. Let the one in lack say, I live in divine supply. The word spoken in the face of contradiction is the highest act of faith. It is not lying. It is aligning. Your word must be consistent. You cannot bless today and curse tomorrow. You cannot speak prosperity in the morning and worry by afternoon. That is double-mindedness, and it delays demonstration. Hold fast to your declaration. Repeat it when the world says otherwise. Repeat it when your mind tries to doubt. Repeat it when fear whispers. Let your word be the rock you stand on. Say it until it becomes your new identity. Say it until every cell in your body believes it. Say it until reality has no choice but to catch up. Let your word be clean, powerful, and intentional. Strip away phrases of defeat. Eliminate words of lack. Cast out expressions of fear. Replace every I can't with I can. Replace every it's hard with it's unfolding perfectly. Replace every I never have enough with I always have more than I need. Speak as one who commands, not as one who pleads. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are the author of destiny. Even when results are slow, your word is working. Even when nothing seems to change, your word is still carving the path. Keep speaking. Keep declaring. Keep calling forth what is unseen. The law is always listening. and at the appointed time, your words will return to you full, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. That is the promise. That is the power of the spoken decree. It is not about saying many things. It is about saying the right things with clarity and faith. One sentence, spoken in divine alignment, is more powerful than 1,000 desperate prayers. Choose your words like a sculptor chooses their tools. Speak deliberately. Speak from the place of authority. Speak as one who knows the outcome is already done. You are not casting spells. You are invoking spiritual law. The word is how spirit moves. The word is how mountains are moved. The word is how dry land appears in the middle of the sea. Speak, and it shall be. Command, and it shall manifest. Decree, and it shall come to pass. You do not need to see it to say it. You say it to see it. You do not wait for the evidence. You create the evidence with your words, so declare it. I am the first $1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Let that be your anthem. Let it be your mantra. Let it be the phrase that reprograms your mind, shifts your vibration, and calls your wealth into being. Say it morning, noon, and night. Say it when you rise and before you sleep. Let every cell, every thought, every breath echo this truth. And as you speak it, you become it. For your word is your wand, and what you speak with faith must come into form. The universe mirrors your belief, not your effort. The world does not respond to the sweat on your brow, the hours you log, or the tasks you perform. It responds to the vibration you hold, the certainty you carry, and the belief that anchors your thoughts. You can work tirelessly and still remain in lack if your inner world is dominated by fear, doubt, or feelings of unworthiness. Effort alone is not enough if it flows from a place of anxiety or desperation. It is not the action that creates the outcome. It is the consciousness behind the action. Many people have been taught that the harder they work, the more they will receive. But this is only partially true. Work has its place in the natural world, but it is belief that rules the spiritual plane, and the spiritual plane is where all things are born. Action is only the visible branch of the invisible root. If the root is belief in lack, then no amount of effort can produce lasting abundance. If the root is belief in overflow, then even the simplest gesture can open great doors. Belief is the architect of reality. It shapes the form of your life, it colors your world, it determines the speed, size, and direction of your manifestations. You cannot outwork your self-image. You cannot outperform your inner certainty. What you deeply believe about yourself, your worth, your place in the world, this is what creates the container for your abundance. The universe does not ask, how hard are they trying? It asks, what do they believe is possible for them? You may attempt to take massive action, push through resistance, and do everything the world says is required. But if your belief is still anchored in fear or scarcity, you will only attract situations that reflect that back to you. Your outer effort will meet the mirror of your inner doubt. Your hustle will find walls instead of windows. Not because you are being punished, but because you are being shown where your belief must shift. On the other hand, when your belief is strong, clear, and aligned, your effort becomes magnetic. Your actions are not driven by panic, but by purpose. You move not in desperation, but in divine flow. Ideas come more easily. People show up at the right moment. Opportunities feel almost effortless. What others call luck is simply belief made visible. When belief is right, work becomes a joy. You move in rhythm with the divine, and life becomes a dance instead of a race. This is why two people can take the same action and receive entirely different results. One is operating from a belief of I must chase this or I'll miss out. The other is operating from a belief of I'm already chosen, and this is unfolding for me. The first creates resistance, pressure, tension. The second creates magnetism, ease, attraction. Belief charges your actions with energy, And that energy determines your harvest. Belief is not something you force. It is something you cultivate. It is a garden you tend to daily. You pull the weeds of doubt. You water the soil with faith. You plant seeds of vision. You speak over your mind with words of truth. You surround yourself with reminders of what is possible. You protect your inner world like sacred ground, because you understand that from it springs every result you will ever experience to change your life. You do not need to push harder. You need to believe higher. You do not need to chase, only align. When belief becomes stable, steady, and unwavering, the outer world must obey. This is law. The universe cannot hold back from the one who believes it is already theirs. Doors cannot stay shut to the one who walks as though they are already open. The invisible responds to the conviction of your inner knowing. If you believe money is hard to make, it will be. If you believe wealth is for others but not for you, life will prove you right. If you believe you are overlooked, you will remain unseen. But if you believe that money flows to you with ease, that wealth is your divine inheritance, that your name is written on success itself, then the universe will organize around that belief. The world does not argue with your convictions. It arranges itself to reflect them. You can see this in every area of life. The person who believes they are loved attracts love. The person who believes they are worthy of opportunity finds doors opening where others see walls. The person who believes they are always supported finds that support rising in every moment of need. Life is not random. It is responsive. It hears what you truly believe beneath the surface, beneath the words, beneath the effort. That hidden belief is the blueprint for everything you experience, so the question is not, am I working hard enough? The question is, what do I really believe? Do I believe I can succeed? Do I believe I am worthy of ease? Do I believe I am the kind of person to whom money flows? Do I believe my ideas matter, my voice matters, my presence is valuable? If not, then the work is not in doing more. It is in shifting the belief. When the belief shifts, the action becomes effortless. The results become exponential. This is why rest can be more powerful than work when it comes from a place of belief. The person who rests in faith creates more than the person who hustles in fear. Because one moves from alignment and the other moves from anxiety. One is grounded in divine certainty. The other is chasing from spiritual confusion. True power does not need to prove it knows. And belief is the foundation of all knowing. Belief is felt in the body. It is not just a thought, it is a state. It is how you breathe, how you walk, how you respond to the day. You cannot fake it with your lips if your heart is not in agreement. The universe listens to your dominant vibration, not your momentary declarations. So you must make your belief a full body state. You must anchor it into your habits, your speech, your decisions. You must live as if it is already done. Even when your senses say otherwise, your current results do not determine your truth. Your belief determines your results. You can start from nothing and rise to everything if your belief holds strong. Many have done so. They were not the smartest, the fastest, or the most connected, but they believed. And belief made a way. It always does. It pierces through barriers. It dissolves resistance. It multiplies the little into the much, because belief aligns you with divine supply, and divine supply knows no lack, so you must become ruthless with your inner world. You must challenge every thought that denies your good. You must silence the voice that says, "Who am I to prosper?" and replace it with, "I am chosen to prosper." You must rewrite the story that says, "It's too late," with, "Everything arrives in perfect timing." You must hold your belief like a shield, guarding it from the arrows of doubt, fear, and delay, because your belief is not just a tool, it is your foundation, and all your wealth is built upon it. The person who believes they are already the first $1 0 0 0 0 0 walks differently. They do not hustle, they command, they do not beg, they attract, they do not wish, they declare. They know that their inner world is the true cause of all things. They know that what they believe is what they receive. And so they do not allow conditions to alter their conviction. They are firm, they are grounded, they are immovable in their knowing. They understand that belief creates rhythm, and rhythm creates flow. When you believe you are in divine timing, everything unfolds with ease. When you believe all things work together for your good, even setbacks serve your success. When you believe wealth is your nature, you stop fighting for it and begin expressing it. The struggle dissolves, the resistance fades, and the current of abundance rises to meet you. This is the work. To become one with your belief, to let it shape you, guide you, define you, to let it lift your vision, steady your steps, and direct your speech. You must believe not with your mind alone, but with your being. You must live from the place of certainty, speak from the place of knowing, act from the place of already received, because in the realm of spirit it is already done. And your belief is the bridge that brings it into view. Fear repels wealth. Faith magnetizes it. This is a principle that does not bend. The moment fear enters the atmosphere, it builds a wall between you and your good. Fear is a vibration of separation, of contraction, of distrust in divine supply. It is the declaration, I do not believe I am supported. It sends out a signal to the universe that says, keep it away, I am not ready. Fear is not only emotional, it is energetic. It turns your magnetic field into a repellent. It blocks flow, slows movement, and attracts situations that match its tone. Wealth does not move toward tension, panic, or desperation. It flows toward calm, trust, ease, and clarity. When faith is present, your field becomes open, receptive, welcoming. You are no longer chasing the thing you want. You are allowing it to find you. Faith is not passive. It is powerful. It is the highest form of spiritual action. It says, I know this belongs to me. It does not argue. It does not plead. It does not beg. It rests in divine certainty and draws all good to itself without effort. People often think fear is logical. They say, I'm just being realistic, or I have to be careful, or what if I lose everything? But fear, even dressed in wisdom, is still fear. It is always based on the idea that there is not enough, that you are not enough, or that the supply can be interrupted, and the universe mirrors back that belief. If you fear not having enough, you will experience not enough. If you fear being unsupported, you will find yourself in situations that feel unsupported. But when you shift into faith, the entire atmosphere changes. Faith is not ignoring facts. It is elevating above them. It is the decision to live from a higher law. Faith looks at the same situation and declares, this is temporary. The truth is abundance. The truth is provision. The truth is everything I need is already on the way. Faith does not deny reality. It reorders it. It speaks new outcomes into being. It opens new channels. It tells the invisible realm, I trust you to move. And then things begin to move. Fear keeps you spinning. It makes you overanalyze. It tightens your grip. It convinces you that you must do more, push harder, figure it all out. It tires the body and confuses the mind, but faith says, step back and remember who you are. It breathes space into your energy. It softens the body. It clears the mind. In that softness, ideas flow. In that clarity, the right people come. In that openness, resources appear. Because wealth is vibration, and faith tunes you to its frequency. When you act from fear, you plant seeds of worry. Even if the action is correct on the outside, the energy behind it will sabotage the harvest. You cannot plant a seed with trembling hands and expect a strong tree. The soil must be stable, and the intention must be sure. But when you act from faith, even small steps carry great power. You do less and receive more. You stop forcing, and things fall into place. You move in trust, and what you need meets you at the intersection of obedience and alignment. Fear says, what if this doesn't work? Faith says, what if it's already working? Fear says, I don't know how. Faith says, I'm guided every step of the way. Fear asks for proof before moving. Faith moves, and the proof shows up along the way. These two frequencies live side by side, and every moment you choose one. One tightens, one releases, one restricts, one expands, one holds back the river. The other opens the floodgates. You must become highly sensitive to fear in your atmosphere. It may show up as doubt, hesitation, needing constant reassurance, over-preparing, or delaying action. It may show up as tension in your body or shortness in your breath. Recognize it quickly. Do not judge it, but do not allow it to stay. Shift immediately. Speak faith out loud. Move into the vibration of trust. Say, I choose to believe. I choose to trust divine supply. I choose to expect miracles. These words change your frequency. They break the spell of fear. They open the door to new outcomes. Faith is not something you are born with. It is something you practice. It is a muscle that grows stronger every time you use it. You build faith by choosing it in the small things. You build faith by remembering past evidence. You build faith by speaking truth over feelings. You build faith by deciding that the invisible is more real than the visible. And over time, faith becomes your home, your normal, your steady ground. From that ground, wealth flows naturally, because you have cleared the fear that once blocked the river. Some think fear is necessary to motivate. They believe it keeps them focused, keeps them productive, keeps them responsible. But fear motivation leads to burnout, confusion, and limited results. Faith motivation is different. It is grounded. It is joyful. It is peaceful. It says, I take this action because I know it's leading somewhere beautiful. It's not rushed, it's guided. It's not panicked, it's purposeful. The quality of your outcome is determined by the energy behind your effort. So let your effort be driven by trust. Faith is also magnetic to opportunities. People can feel when you are moving in faith. They feel safer around you. They feel drawn to your energy. They want to invest in you, support you, collaborate with you. Faith is confidence without arrogance. It is peace without passivity. It is knowing without needing to prove. And this energy makes others feel the same way. You become a portal through which others feel abundance, and that makes you unstoppable. Fear repels wealth even when you think you're being careful. You may think, I'll just wait until everything is perfect. But perfectionism is often fear in disguise. You may think, I can't make that investment until I'm sure. But fear will never give you certainty. Only faith can do that. Certainty is born in the soul, not the senses. You must decide that you are safe now, worthy now, ready now, and wealth must respond to that tone. You do not have to fight fear. You only have to stop feeding it. Stop giving it your attention. Stop rehearsing worst-case scenarios. Stop talking about what might go wrong. Turn your focus to what's already working, what's already good, what's already unfolding in your favor. Speak faith more than you speak facts. Speak the end result more than the current condition. Speak overflow more than limitation. And you will shift your entire environment when you feel fear rising. Bless it and release it. Say, this fear is not my truth. It is a signal that I am growing. I bless it and I choose to rise higher. And then immediately do something that anchors you in faith. Listen to truth. Speak affirmations, take a step, visualize your outcome. Do not sit in fear, move through it. Faith does not mean you never feel fear. It means you do not let fear run your life. Your nervous system must learn that wealth is safe, that ease is safe, that overflow is safe. When you've lived in fear for a long time, abundance can feel unfamiliar. You may even sabotage it to return to the familiar stress. This is why you must daily rehearse the feeling of faith, the feeling of having, the feeling of being supported. Let that feeling become your new normal. Let your body, your breath, your words, and your choices reflect this new standard. The more you choose faith, the more proof you gather that it works. You begin to live in a reality shaped by ease. You notice the money that comes without strain. You notice the ideas that drop in at just the right time. You notice how quickly things turn around. And all of this builds your trust until fear becomes a stranger. Not because life is always easy, but because you have learned to rise above reaction and live from divine perspective. You were not created to live in fear. You were designed to live in faith. You were meant to move through the world as a clear channel for wealth. But that channel must be free of fear-based beliefs. Let go of the old stories. Let go of the timelines that say it's too late. Let go of the belief that money is hard. Let go of the lie that you have to suffer. These are not spiritual truths. These are illusions created by collective fear, and you do not have to participate in them anymore. Choose the vibration of faith, not because everything looks perfect, but because faith makes it so. Speak from the end, move from the end, live from the end. Let your inner world sing the song of certainty, and your outer world will begin to echo it in perfect rhythm. For fear repels wealth, but faith calls it in like a magnet pulling iron. And the more you trust, the more you receive, not because you chased it, but because you became the vessel through which it flows without resistance. Divine supply is released through spiritual certainty, not logic. The storehouse of heaven is never accessed by overthinking, doubting, questioning, or proving. It is opened by knowing, a deep, unshakable, anchored knowing that says, "It is mine. It has always been mine. I walk in it now." Logic has its place in the world of form, but it does not hold the keys to spiritual manifestation. Logic evaluates conditions. Certainty commands them to change. Logic measures the seen. Certainty activates the unseen. Logic deals in limitation. Certainty dwells in infinity. And it is from the infinite that your supply flows. You do not have to figure out how the money will come. You do not have to map every step. You do not need evidence first. You only need certainty. Certainty is the soul's signature. It declares the truth before the facts arrive. It takes spiritual dominion over appearances. It plants its flag in the territory of abundance and refuses to move. When you speak from certainty, heaven and earth begin to rearrange to fulfill your declaration. The winds shift, the doors swing open, the people appear. Because divine supply is obedient to spiritual law, and spiritual law is activated by certainty, logic whispers 1,000 reasons why it won't work. Certainty silences them with one word, yes. Logic says, be careful. Certainty says, be courageous. Logic says, wait until it's safer. Certainty says, move because it's already done. Logic wants reassurance. Certainty offers command. The more you rely on logic, the longer the delay. But the moment you move into certainty, the delay dissolves. Time compresses, channels open, the path clears. Certainty is the shortcut to miracles. It does not wait for permission. It gives the order. People often confuse certainty with arrogance, but they are not the same. Arrogance is rooted in ego. Certainty is rooted in spirit. Arrogance needs to prove. Certainty simply knows. Arrogance demands applause. Certainty requires none. It is quiet, strong, calm, and absolute. It is the energy that changes rooms. It is the vibration that moves mountains. When you walk in certainty, you do not beg the universe for provision. You announce it. You do not ask for scraps. You stand in divine inheritance and receive what already belongs to you. You may think, but how can I be certain if I don't see it yet? That is the entire point. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Certainty is faith matured. It says, my spirit sees it clearly, even if my eyes do not. It is not a question of if, only when. And in spiritual law, when you fully believe it is now, the when collapses into the now. This is not mental trickery. It is a shift in your entire frequency. It is stepping into the reality that already exists for you and living as if nothing else is possible. Certainty releases the supply because it aligns your being with the truth of abundance. You stop oscillating between belief and doubt. You stop hesitating, second, guessing, delaying. You move in rhythm with divine order. Your speech becomes clear. Your actions become aligned. Your energy becomes magnetic. And the universe responds in kind, for the universe does not follow confusion. It follows conviction. When you are fully convinced, all things begin to move toward you. Logic, though useful for navigating earthly tasks, must take a back seat to spiritual vision. You can use logic to book the flight, pay the bill, write the plan, but the vision behind it must come from certainty. Otherwise, the work becomes hollow. Without spiritual certainty, logic becomes a loop. It replays the same doubts, rehearses the same delays, recycles the same fears. It will keep you planning forever and never moving. Certainty, however, is immediate. It says, "This is already real. I'm just walking into what's mine." You must train your inner world to dwell in this certainty. It begins with the decision to believe the divine more than the data. It continues with the discipline of watching your words. Speak only what you wish to expand. Say, "The supply is already here. My channels are opening now. I walk in unlimited provision." Do not argue with yourself. Do not reason with your fears. Do not give airtime to doubt. Treat certainty as your native language. Let it be the only thing your atmosphere hears. Certainty also brings a peace that logic cannot provide. Even when things seem slow or unclear, certainty says, "I am not shaken. The plan is perfect. The outcome is guaranteed." This peace is a signal to the universe that you are ready to hold more. When you hold certainty in your heart, you create stability in your field. That stability makes you trustworthy. It says to divine substance, "You can flow through me. I will not collapse. I will not panic. I will not forget who I am." And then the flow increases. The greatest breakthroughs often come right after you make a decision from certainty. Not a forced decision, not a desperate one, but a quiet, powerful inner agreement with your highest good. The moment you say, "It is mine," with conviction, the unseen realm begins to move. Opportunities that seemed blocked dissolve. Money that was withheld is released. Resources you never imagined are revealed. But none of this happens until the inner climate matches the harvest you are calling in. Many live in a state of almost belief. They affirm abundance but secretly worry. They say they trust, but they plan for failure. This split frequency blocks the flow. The divine does not respond to mixed signals. You must be single-minded in your belief. Let your heart, your words, your energy, and your actions all agree. Let there be no contradiction. The moment your inner and outer life align with certainty, the floodgates open. This is why meditation, stillness, and inner vision are so important. They quiet the noise of logic so that the voice of certainty can rise. In stillness, you remember your source. In stillness, you hear the knowing. In stillness, you see the invisible clearly. Let this vision guide you more than any plan. Let the inner world lead, and the outer will follow. Do not seek clarity outside of yourself. Certainty is not found. It is chosen. It is claimed. It is lived. Certainty does not mean you will never feel doubt again. But it does mean you no longer serve it. You may hear the doubt, but you do not obey it. You may feel the fear, but you do not let it lead. You stay anchored in truth. You rehearse your certainty daily. You wake up and declare what is already yours. You move through the day with the posture of one who lacks nothing. You end the day in gratitude for what is already done in spirit. And this practice builds a magnetic field so strong that nothing can hold back your good. When others question your path, let them. You do not need agreement when you have certainty. You do not need validation when you have truth. Stand firm in your knowing. Protect it. Guard it. Do not entertain conversations that weaken it. Surround yourself with those who remind you, not those who distract you. Certainty is sacred. It is the key to unlocking what logic could never explain. Sometimes your supply is delayed not because it is far, but because your inner climate is still too noisy. The moment you silence the logic and choose divine knowing, you give the signal that you are ready. Certainty is not loud, but it is unshakable. It does not prove, it creates. It does not push, it allows. It does not plead, it proclaims. This is the power that releases divine supply. When you look at your bank account, do not look with logic. Look with vision. When you face a deadline, do not respond with panic. Respond with peace. When you receive a bill, do not react with lack. Declare, "This is already covered." Your spiritual certainty becomes your wealth. It is the currency of heaven. It is the foundation for miracles. Let it be the engine that drives every thought, word, and step. You are not limited by anything except belief. You are not held back by economy, background, timing, or skill. You are only held back by the degree to which you rely on logic over spirit. Move out of calculation and into conviction. Release analysis and embrace alignment. Stop trying to make it make sense. Instead, let it make spirit. Let it be birthed from truth, not tactics. Let it rise from the invisible, not the intellectual. And watch as everything begins to arrive, not because you figured it out, but because you finally knew it was already done. The million you seek is already encoded in your consciousness. Before it appears in your hand, it is born in your spirit. There is nothing outside of you that holds more power than what resides within. You are not chasing $1 million. You are remembering it. You are not waiting to receive it. You are awakening to it. The supply you desire is not an achievement to conquer, but a frequency to access. It has always been yours by divine right. It lives in the blueprint of your soul, etched into your divine identity, waiting for your permission to unfold when you begin to understand that your consciousness is the origin of your wealth. Everything changes. You no longer beg for money, you bless it. You no longer chase opportunities, you attract them. You no longer worry if it will happen. You ask yourself how to become the one it happens to. You move from effort to embodiment. You stop forcing results and start aligning with truth. Your external reality becomes a mirror, reflecting the exact image you hold within. There is no separation between the money you want and the version of you who already holds it. The only gap is awareness. The moment you fully accept that your million is already imprinted in your energetic field, the chase ends. You don't run after it. You step into it. You don't grasp. You expand. You don't hustle. You harmonize. You begin to think, speak, move, and act as the custodian of wealth, not the seeker of it. And the universe, seeing this inner shift, begins to organize the outer conditions to match. This is not about pretending or performing. This is about aligning. It is about becoming aware of what has always been true and releasing every thought that denies it. You are the embodiment of divine abundance. You are not becoming rich. You are remembering your original wealth. You are not learning prosperity. You are awakening what already lives in you. This is why no strategy, no formula, no plan can substitute for inner revelation. Until you know who you are, no amount of action will hold. But the moment you know, the action becomes an extension of truth. You must walk through your days with the knowing that the million is already yours. Let this knowing guide your choices. How does a millionaire think? How does a millionaire speak? How does a millionaire respond to challenges? How does a millionaire handle delay? When you embody the consciousness of a millionaire, you create an energetic agreement with your desired reality. You no longer send out mixed signals of lack. You become the clear broadcast of abundance, and abundance answers clarity. It rushes in to meet the one who is unwavering in identity. Many wait for the million to appear before they change. But the order is reversed. The change in you births the change around you. You shift first and the form follows. You believe and then you receive, you become and then you behold. It is not magic, it is law. The law that governs all manifestation is the law of identity. What you claim is true within must appear without, not as a reward but as a reflection, not as luck but as alignment. You are not earning the million. You are expressing it when you wake up. Don't ask, how will it come? Ask, how can I rise to meet what's already mine? Begin your day not with stress but with certainty. Look around your life not with lack, but with vision. What you see now is simply the past made visible. Your present reality is old news. It was shaped by yesterday's beliefs, but today you choose again. Today, you create from the $1,000,000 version of you. And as you stay faithful to that inner template, the outer world has no choice but to rearrange. You are not waiting for money. Money is waiting for you to remember that you are the source, waiting for you to stop looking outside and start activating within, waiting for you to remove every unworthy thought, every fearful vibration, every conditional story that says you must prove yourself. You are already worthy. You are already chosen. You are already equipped. Your job is not to convince the universe. It is to agree with it. It is to say yes to the truth that was placed in you before you were born. Your divine design includes overflow. It does not include struggle, scarcity, or survival. These are learned patterns, not eternal truths. And what has been learned can be unlearned. Every time you catch yourself in a story of lack, gently return to your encoded truth. Say to yourself, I am wealth. I am abundance. I am divine supply in form. Let this be your declaration until it becomes your embodiment. Speak it until every cell in your body hums with agreement. Until every step you take echoes with purpose and provision. This inner work is not optional. It is foundational. Without it, you are simply rearranging the same outer pieces, hoping for a different picture. But with it, you are constructing a new reality from the inside out. The $1,000,000 life is not just about money. It is about mastery, mastery of self, mastery of vibration, mastery of thought. When you master the inner, the outer submits. When you claim the truth, the form appears. This is the secret the world forgets. But your soul has always known you were born with a divine inheritance. The million you seek is just one layer of that inheritance. It is a symbol, a sign, a signature of the deeper truth, that you lack nothing, that you were sent here not to strive, but to shine, not to earn, but to express, not to suffer, but to radiate the goodness of the divine through every area of life. Money is simply a servant to this truth, a tool for your expression, a mirror to your identity. When you stop worshiping money and start embodying wealth, the flow becomes natural. Do not look at the numbers in your account with fear. Look at them with faith. Declare, this is not the final word. My supply is spiritual and unlimited. Do not let conditions narrate your story. Let your consciousness lead. Every time you override the facts with faith, you shift your frequency. Every time you honor your encoded abundance more than your temporary circumstances, you activate the divine law, and divine law always fulfills itself when aligned with you. Are not here to wish for wealth. You are here to demonstrate it, to live it, to reveal what it looks like when a soul walks in full remembrance of its divine power. That remembrance is the million. That embodiment is the wealth. The numbers will follow. The manifestations will align, but the true miracle is you. You as the source, you as the channel, you as the million in human form. There is no other you, no one else with your exact design, purpose, or energy. And within your unique pattern is the exact wealth the world needs to see. Your obedience to this truth blesses others. Your alignment becomes an example. Your rise gives permission. Every dollar that flows to you in alignment flows through you in service. You are not hoarding wealth, you are hosting it. You are not chasing money, you are channeling it when you know that the million is already yours. You stop fearing what comes and goes. You stop gripping outcomes. You live in ease, in grace, in generosity, because you know there is always more where that came from. You are tapped into the eternal storehouse. The source never runs dry. And because the source is within you, you are never without. There is no gatekeeper to your abundance. No permission required, no conditions to be met. The door is open, the table is set, the invitation has already been given. You only need to take your seat, to own your space, to say yes fully, not halfway. To stop shrinking and start shining. To stop surviving and start overflowing. To stop seeking and start remembering. Remember who you are. Remember what you carry. Remember that this life is not a rehearsal. It is the full expression of divine truth made visible through you. You are not waiting for the million. You are it. You are the evidence. You are the proof. You are the walking manifestation of divine wealth on earth. And the moment you agree with this truth in every fiber of your being, the world cannot help but reflect it back to you.